You looking for me, you can find me at the barber shop. Pulling up to get a cut, bumping through the parking lot. I keep it clean, Rico's where I'm running to. If you in the city, then you probably gonna be coming to. Gang getting down, Red's getting down, Nick getting down, Ron getting down, just to name a few. Everybody blade on point. You trying to get fresh, I'm telling you this the joint. Hands down, top shop up in this vicinity. Promises age 9, LaRon been getting me. Temper on the side, I'm trying to...
What's up, guys? Welcome to the K.O.S. Barber Club podcast, where we discuss the collection of wisdom on the science of everything in life, and we do so by discussing our guest's history and seeing where him or her took decisions in self-awareness, self-concept, and self-knowledge. With me today, I have an elite barber, a Picasso type of barber, a guy that I respect very much, and he's very well known now in the industry. My friend Carlos, you guys might know him as El Bebe. What's up, man?
What's up?
How are you, bro?
Good.
We got him here. How you been?
Everything good, thank God.
Yeah. You just got back from Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Connecticut Expo.
Yeah, it's back to like normal life.
Normal life?
Yeah. Sometimes those shows be like kind of like, it takes you away from your reality sometimes.
Yeah, it looks like a Comic-Con
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Because when I used to go to those shows back in the days, it was raw, like dry. It was just a little barber section, and then it was a humongous hairstyle, design, everything. Now it's the opposite.
Yeah.
But before we get to all that, I want to discuss, like, I met you maybe like, 8-9 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And you had come from where? Puerto Rico, right?
Puerto Rico, yeah.
Tell us that. Where did you start in Puerto Rico?
Well, I was in Puerto Rico for like 10 years before that. I came to Miami because of the hurricane.
Maria? That everybody was shut down.
Everybody was shut down. I had like, my kid was a year and a half. My daughter was 5. No electricity, no power, no money, no internet, no. Went back to like living notes in people's door.
Oh,
and
shit.
then, yeah. So
everybody had to write down notes?
Yeah.
Llámame.
Yeah, we had to go to the
Send
house and be
signal.
like, hey, it's me. I'll be back tomorrow at 3.
Wow.
And then if you get one of those, you have to stay because there's nowhere to like contact you. Yeah, it was.
How long did you do that for?
I was there for 2 months because the flights were sold out, so there was no way out. So you had to buy a ticket. I bought a ticket September, and my flight was in November. So,
So how old were you there when that happened?
I don't know, like 30-something.
30-something. Oh, so you already were developed.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take us to middle school. Your middle school, you were 14, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah,
were you a barber at that time?
No, I became a barber at that time, but it wasn't an actual barber. Like, I moved to New Jersey, to Newark, and I saw my uncle cut himself, and my mom had 4 kids. One of them was my sister,
Yeah.
and 3 boys. So we all needed haircuts. So I told my mom, I'm like, yo, like if you give me one of those clippers, I could cut myself, and I could cut my brothers.
You were aware that you were able to do that, or you were just?
I saw him do it, and I was like, if he could do it, I could do it.
Self-awareness, awesome.
And then I started cutting my brothers.
No fear.
I mean, they didn't have a choice.
No fear, no. Out of need. It's funny, man, and especially hip hop, because I'm a big hip hop head. When there's need and you have like awareness and confidence, you're able to do anything you want, man.
Yeah.
We got to see the clippers. Same thing happened to me. I saw my uncle's friend with the clippers, and I was like, he left them at my house one time. Like, give me that. And then I started cutting my uncle's hair. I started cutting my hair. I started cutting friends' hair. And it kept going.
Yeah.
And we're here now.
The only thing bad about that I would say now that I look back into it is that I never stepped foot in a barbershop before. So I didn't even know, like, that was a thing. I was just cutting my
You were
brother.
probably a barber in your past life.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Bro, because the talent
I never went to school for barbering. Never.
Yeah, it's like school here. When you go to college, it's not to... I mean, people say, yes, that you have to go to learn how to, like, be part of a team. I think that's all bullshit. You pretty much... I went to school, and all you do is just go to class, get there on time, talk to the teacher, and then they give you a receipt, and they let you know, okay, you're able to work with people.
But to me, I was going to be a mechanic after high school. because I didn't think about barbering. I was cutting at the time. When I moved to Puerto Rico.
So you were in Newark, cutting your family's hair. You wanted to be a mechanic.
I went to school and everything.
To be a mechanic.
Yeah.
At least you could do your own oil change.
Yeah, I do that.
And then you went back to Puerto Rico.
I went to Puerto Rico.
How old were you there?
Like 22.
So you were in New York for what, 5 years?
Yeah, I got there before ninth grade.
Yeah, so it was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
And then you went back to Puerto Rico in 19, 20.
Yeah, I did that, and then I was working in construction.
In Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and with my little bike, and I had my clippers and stuff, but I would cut my friends and people in the hood and stuff.
For money or for fun?
For money, but it was like $5. I didn't even look.
In the hood, that's like love.
Yeah, but to me, it's like I used to make like $70 working in construction a day. So if I would go to somebody's house and cut like their father, their brothers,
$25.
I made like $20, $30. So to me, it wasn't money. I made more money as a construction worker than in the shop. The only reason why I started working in a barber shop was because the construction was done. And then the girl that does my hair, she was doing my braids, and she was like, "Oh, so what are you up to?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing. I'm getting my hair done just in case I get an interview or something because I have to look for a job now." And she's like, "But don't you cut hair?" I was like, "Yeah, but I never went to school. I don't even know if I could work as a
she's
barber."
like, "It don't matter."
She's like, "No, it doesn't matter." She calls some
we'll
barber.
work around it.
She calls some barber there. Like, "Look, I got this guy here that he's talented. I seen him cut." He's like, "Yeah, bring him around." And I went there, cut some friend of mine, and that's when I started cutting hair at the barber shop. And I was like,
and then you started making $70 a day.
yeah. And I was like, bro, all
You're
this
like,
time.
forget all this hot construction shit.
Yeah, I was in the sun. Like, I was like,
So it was a calling.
yeah,
That shit is awesome. So you did that forever.
yeah,
And cogiste fama over there, right?
yeah,
In Puerto Rico, everybody was like, blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
Then the hurricane hit.
Then the hurricane hit, and then it was a temporary thing. We were supposed to come back on February. Like, it was November. It was like, oh, let's go. Because my wife, all her family's in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So I was like, let's go. So at least the kids have like a normal Christmas, you know?
Yeah.
And then we went there. We went to New Jersey, actually. And then when I went to New Jersey, then my daughter started school. And then we realized, it's like, wait a minute, we could stay here. And I told my wife, like, yo, we could stay here. She's like, no, I want to go back. My family's there. It's like, okay, you know, if we go back, we have to kick your mom out of the house.
Oh.
Because she lost her house in the hurricane, but we didn't. So we left her, my house.
With your house.
Yeah, and everything in it.
Yeah,
so,
you don't want to live with the...
So I was like, we have to kick your mom out. And she's like, oh, but what about your grandmother's house? I'm like, we still have to kick her out because we need our bed, our couch, everything in it. So it's like, we either leave your mom without nothing in the house or we just don't go. And then she's like, oh, let's just wait a little bit longer. It's like, no, I don't want to stay here in Miami. I mean, in New Jersey. If we're going to stay here, we have to figure out what we're going to do because, you know, we're sleeping on an air mattress and a couch, 2 kids. It's like, bro, we had a house and 2 cars in Puerto Rico. It's like, eventually it was going to be my fault.
So this is a lot of self-awareness.
Yeah, to me, it's like, if I stay here, she's going to get mad and she's going to be like, because of you, we're dealing with all of this, knowing that we had everything over there. And 2, it's like, we're not going to grow. If we're going to stay here, we need to, like, grow and
yeah, not have anything pulling you back.
No, and like raise our kids and be in a good environment. My moms and my brothers, you know, family drama.
Hispanic family.
Yeah. One day my mom is fighting, like fist fighting my daughter, my sister, and I'm like, what the hell is this? But to me, it's like I don't want my kids to be around that, and that's when I started calling people random, like,
knowledge yourself.
Where you at? Where you at? Everybody that I knew that left the island because of the hurricane that were working as a barbershop, I started calling them until I called Joanny. Joanny was working at Coral Gables, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm doing good over here." And I knew Joanny, like, I knew her as for social media, but I met her in Colombia in a show that we did in Colombia, but that was about it. So I talked to my wife. I started watching YouTubes, like what is to live in Miami and like things to look at. It was like, I started comparing the rent, and it's like, well, it's kind of the same. And if we stay in New Jersey, we're going to pay the same. If we go over there,
pay the same, but you get more here from over there.
Yeah, and then I was telling my wife, it's like, my wife was dealing with the whole snow stuff, taking the kids to school in the snow. I was like, nah, this is not it. Like, no, I'm not going to put my family through that.
Yeah, I give respect to barbers in New York, man. You guys are...
Yeah.
Because out here we get hot and we deal with the rain. Over there,
nah, it's
I wouldn't
too
be able to
much.
do it.
Then you shovel the freaking parking space.
Yeah, I
you
wouldn't
go
want to cut
leave,
nobody's hair up to all that shit.
You come back, the neighbor took it, and it's like, bro, like you.
Everybody's late for your haircut. Sorry, man, I had to shuffle snow.
Yeah, and then that's when I made the tough decision to come to Miami. I had to leave my family over there.
You left them in New York, came by myself.
Yeah. Well,
That's when
not
you
by
were-
myself. They were like in my mom's house. My wife was pissed. My wife was like, no, let's wait for my daughter to finish school. It's like, I can't move to a new city. I have no family. I don't know nobody there. I could do it myself. I could sleep under a bridge if that's what it takes, but I can't take you and the kids.
Self-awareness. Okay, so was there a moment that you actually like took time to think and talk to yourself?
Like
When you had to make this decision? Because you're telling me your wife is over here, then your mind is over here. Like, how did you narrow everything down and say, this is what we're doing?
bro, to me, it always has been, I always told my wife when we got married back in 2007, we went back to Puerto Rico when we had the kids and stuff. I always had, like, we were doing good in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And we were married. But we came back, and then when we had the kids, I always had like, oh, let's go back, because we could be good over there. And my wife was like, no, like the kids are here.
Go back to Puerto Rico.
No, go back to New Jersey.
From Puerto Rico. Okay.
Yeah, because I got married in Puerto Rico when I left after the mechanic stuff. Got married in Puerto Rico, stayed there.
And then you said, let's go back.
Yeah, because I already had worked in the shop.
You had la confianza.
Yeah, and I had made some money.
Yeah.
We had everything set up to get an apartment and everything. And that's when my grandfather passed away. Her grandfather passed away. There's too many people passing away that, I mean, my wife was 18. She just got married and moved out of the country. So she was like having a rough time.
Damn, you're
So-
Mr. Lover.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, cool. Let's just go back. But every time something would go bad in Puerto Rico, I always be like, yo, let's go. Because we know.
A lot of things. No, but that was bad, though. That hurricane was bad.
Yeah, but when.
You know who
when
got stuck over there? Negro. He went over there in that hurricane. He got stuck. He
Damn.
couldn't get, and he had to stay in a hotel. Bro, that guy lost it.
I always told her, it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to stay. But the day that my kids are in need, I'm not asking you. We're
leaving.
going. And then that's why I was like, when this whole situation when Miami happened, I was like, I'm not doing this for me. I'm
Yeah, you're
doing this
making
for
a
them.
sacrifice, but at the same time, you are, because you first saw the things that were going to happen.
Yeah.
You knew and you trusted your skill set
Mm-hmm.
enough to be like, I don't want to be here. I could be there.
Yeah, we could be better over
So
there.
you developed a concept, a plan, and you took off.
Yeah, I came over here to Miami with a 2-week Airbnb.
Yeah, you took over, man. Everybody was like, yo, who's this Puerto Rican guy, man? Came out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah, but I had to. I had no other choice. The hardest thing to me when I made that move was going back in May, and my kid didn't recognize me. And it was like,
¿Verdad?
yeah.
Wow.
And then knowing that I have to come back, like I went over there for like
How old
Mother's
was
Day.
the kid at this time?
Well, we got there. I got there in November. I came to Miami in January.
January, February, March. So 4 months you were away.
Yeah.
You came back and
Yeah, I came
How
back.
old was he? Like 5?
He was a year and a half when we went there. So he was like maybe about to be 2. But he was like, you know what, how the kids
Yeah,
like
los
see a
bebés, no?
stranger
Yeah.
and they hide behind their mom and they're looking.
How'd that
like,
make you feel, man?
bro, terrible. I was like, bro, and knowing that it still had 8 months to go,
You were questioning yourself.
I
right?
was like, bro, I don't know if this is the right thing. And I remember the first time I left, when I left New Jersey, the first time he was normal. He didn't know what the hell was going on. When I left the second time, he was crying at the airport.
wow.
And then to me, it was like,
Yeah, you were crying on the way to the plane.
bro, I was,
Shit.
now I'm questioning myself. Like, is it worth it?
Okay, so tell us about that. Like, what was the conversation you had with yourself?
Because to me, the hurricane sparked the whole conversation about time with me. Because I realized after working all of these years as a barber and doing all the sacrifices for the family when you're not really sacrificing for your family. Because when you really think about it, it's like all those like late nights and New Year's and all of that.
I mean, you're sacrificing.
You are,
but
but
you're not sacrificing you're sacrificing time with the family.
yeah, but you tell yourself that you're doing it because you're gonna do something for your family and you're gonna put them in a better position.
And then the hurricane comes and nothing is there.
That's why you take the extra client. That's why you stay later.
Yeah.
And then when the hurricane hit, and then I started realizing, it's like, what do I have to show for?
Wow.
And that's when I was like, wait a minute. When I found out that, like, I didn't find out. I noticed that my daughter didn't know how to ride a bicycle without the training wheel. And then I was like, wait a minute. Like, I didn't even have taken the time to take this girl to teach her how to do this stuff.
So it was awareness, more self-awareness.
It's self-awareness. And I started
putting the pieces to the puzzle together.
Yeah. And we didn't know, like, we didn't have nothing else. We didn't have no internet, no nothing. It just time and light, like sunshine. As soon as it gets dark,
so how did you end up getting out of there?
Yeah, I just bought a ticket. I had to drive like an hour away because there was this cell phone tower that you park there, and then it would get signal. And then I called my mom and I told her we were okay and stuff like that. She's like, "Oh, come over here." I was like, "How the hell am I gonna get out of here?" And then she bought the tickets for us, so we
just went to there, yeah.
And then, but the tickets were like 2 months after. So I was like, I don't care. I just want to get out of here. And then,
as soon as possible.
And then we would go there to get an update to see what was going on and stuff like that. We would come back. We had to drive.
So you did Puerto Rico, New York, a couple of years, right?
No.
Or months?
I did a couple of months. My
and
wife
then you came here. Your wife stayed there with the kids because of school.
Yeah, my daughter was in second grade at the time.
Then you settled here. You started working with us at the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started getting more clientele.
Yeah.
You started getting the hang of it. The self-awareness, self-concept was working.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so how did you do after that? Because I know that, if I recall, I remember there was a situation that you were doing a lot of house calls.
Yeah.
And these people were bugging that you were going to.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, yo, why are you bugging? This guy's making bread.
No, and then the thing is that I was doing house call, but I was cutting Bad Bunny at the time. And they're like, no, you can't do house call.
Who's
and
that guy?
I was like, what you mean?
Like, I'm not going to go do Bad Bunny to take a walk-in?
No, the problem is that I would go cut him and the staff, and it would be like $700 in that night. And I was actually coming back to the shop afterwards.
How'd you get in contact with Bad Bunny? Or they contacted you?
I used to cut his DJ in Puerto Rico. And when I moved to Miami, I texted him one time. I was like, yo, I'm over here. If you ever need a haircut, he came to the shop once. And we kicked it and whatever. And then that was that. And then one day I cut Molusco.
Okay.
I cut his hair. And he posted in social media. And then he texted me. He's like, yo, you do house calls? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, can you do a house call for me? I was like, of course.
Maybe.
And then I went over there and I cut him. And then like 2 days later, that's when he called me. He's like, yo, I need you to come cut this guy's hair. And I'm like, but didn't you guys just got a cut on Tuesday?
Yeah.
He's like, no, we're doing another video and he needs a different haircut. And then I was like, okay, cool.
So you started doing the designs on him on all the videos?
I took the designs off. The V by itself, I did that.
Oh.
Because when I went that Thursday, I went to cut him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, bro, I want you to take all this design off. And I was like, you just got them on Tuesday. Like, there's no way I could get this.
Yeah, you have it down to the skin.
And then he's like, oh, no. The only thing that I don't want is this widow speak. I don't want it to get cut because when they do the edge up, it turns green and I don't like it. As long as you leave that, I'm fine. And I said it joking. I was like, yo, in order for me to get rid of all this line, I would have to shave half of your hair, like all the way up to here. And then just leave you that V, and then it's just going to look weird. I was like, yeah, do that. And I was like,
cabrón.
And then I was like, okay, cool. I did it, and he loved it, and then he kept it for a whole year.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I'm like, yo, it's bugged out.
Yeah.
Now I know the story. Now we know the story.
And I was his barber for all 2019. Every time that he was in Miami, they'll call me.
Nice.
But the first time that they called me, they're like, oh, don't ask him for picture or anything because he was tired and some stuff.
Yeah,
but then they told me like, oh, like if you're good that I have seen your work and stuff like that, you have plenty of time to like ask him for pictures and stuff like that.
Of course.
But then the more that I started cutting him, the more that I started seeing the people around him, I realized that the people around him were like people that grew up with him in high school, like his brother.
Yeah,
like,
family. His
circle was like super tight. I was like, bro, I'm not gonna ruin this for a picture. Don't get me wrong, I do like some videos and stuff, some pictures, but I'll show it to my kid. But I didn't post nothing about it.
So to this day, you never posted anything about it?
At that time, at first, it was like, I want to get this money.
Yeah.
Then afterwards, when I started like getting acquainted with them and we were like friends and stuff, I was like, I'm not gonna like this guy couldn't even go to South Beach to buy some sneakers. Everybody was joyriding, everybody was taking the Lambos out, going this, going that, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the store to get some sneakers." And then he's like, "You're coming?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm going." And then he asked me like, "Oh, how much you got left?" And I was like, 10 minutes. And then he told the guy, "It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go with you guys." And then he's like, the assistant was like, "You sure? You want me to call to close the store now, or you want me to go and FaceTime you?"
Yeah, because he can't just walk in.
And then he's like, he looked at him like, damn, like I can't even do that. And then at that point, I knew that this guy is like,
It's going to blow up.
no, and he doesn't.
What year was this? This was like 2001.
That was 2019.
2019.
He was big. He had his first album out, but it wasn't that big.
He blew up.
And then after that, and that year was like when he started being everywhere. At that time, when that happened, he used to have a residency in the East Hotel. I used to cut him at the East Hotel.
Okay.
But then he was getting too famous to be at the East Hotel. So now he was renting like mansions all over South Beach. So every time he'll come in, they'll text me the address and I would just show up to them. So to me, it was like he's living the lifestyle, but technically, it's really enjoying it. And to me, it was like, this is the only like normal time that this guy has. And I don't want to ruin that for.
So in that time, you were aware to know like, yo, I'm not going to step over the line, right? I'm going to stay here. So you were aware, but you still had your family in mind.
Mm-hmm.
You're still trying to get this money. You were still trying to be a regular in-house barber.
Yeah.
Doing house calls. How are you juggling all this, man?
I mean, I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed that I have a wife that understands all of that.
Wow.
And understands the sacrifice and is really supportive, because I know a lot of barbers that.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm asking.
Their wife gonna be like, wow, you leaving here at 2 o'clock in the morning? Like, you always out, you doing this, you come back, and then now you're doing house calls, and now you're traveling, and now you, like,
yo, that's
she
very
gets
special, man. Shout out to the wifey.
Shout out to her, bro.
That's great, bro. She gave you that's what all men need, man. They just need a little, some people, yes, they take it far and they take advantage, but other men like us, we were working. We're making moves. We're trying to juggle this and make this thing work. Because the barber game, if you slip, another person will just slide in and you're out.
Yeah, and at the time too, I didn't want to get recognized for being a celebrity barber. I know there was a lot of them.
That sounds weird.
There was a lot of barbers doing that, and to me, when I had to make the decision whether to stay at the spot or leave, I was like, okay, I'm leaving, but I had to put a name to myself, because I used to go to shows before coming here. I used to go to shows on my own. When I came over here, I started going to shows and nobody knew who I was. And then I was like, if I'm another celebrity barber, it's going to be tough for me. But I know this thing that these people don't know, which is the color. Yeah. And then I was like, I'm just going to take this route because nobody exploded this route.
Let's talk about that, because that's, like I said, you're like the Picasso of this whole thing. I know you, so I'm kind of biased. When I see it, I'm like, I think Bebe's the freshest, I see other people's work, and it's nice, but I don't see it the same style or blend or gradient that you have. And I don't know how you got to that point, because what was it? Last week you posted something from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
And I could tell the beginning you were...
Oh, it's terrible.
Not terrible. You were just like, I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, because...
And now you broke the code.
Because to me, at that time in 2011, I always been a quiet barber.
Yeah,
I haven't been the barber that is like,
you let your work speak.
Yeah, but the problem with that, as a barber, you need to be social with people. You need to be cool and
but that's my issue. Not issue. That's what I don't like about the barber game. Because I went in 2004. I went to the Andes Masters Design competition, and I won that shit, not thinking I was gonna win it. And I didn't like that camaraderie. Because when you're there, todo el mundo, everybody's looking at you like, yo, who is this guy? Blah, blah, blah. And then when you win, everybody's like, hey, what's up, Gene?
Yeah.
Gene. I'm like, bro.
That's exactly what I was mentioning.
Who are you? Like, I'm like, hey, Gene, what's up, bro? And I'm like, okay, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's fine. I just didn't feel comfortable.
That's why I told you that I was glad to be back in a normal life. Because when I'm into shows, I'm that. When I'm over here, I'm normal.
Yeah, I don't like that. Hey, come here. Magazine wants to talk to you. Hey, come here. Take pictures with this guy. Hey, come here. Just take a picture with this product. I'm like, Te jalan. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, yo, man, I don't even know you. Like, chill.
To me in the barbershop, when I was doing that, since I wasn't the guy that people would, like I had clients that would come in, say what's up, and go hang out and talk to my friend.
Yeah.
And then when it was their turn, they'd come in and get a haircut and say, talk to me like the normal stuff.
Yeah.
But they have more things to talk about with other barbers. So what I did to separate myself, I will always look at the trends and see what was going on.
And how'd you get to that decision?
Because it was either that or I would have to talk, and I was a bad person to like. I'm really bad
You had
to talk.
enough self-awareness to know I don't want to talk to nobody, but I want people to notice me.
Yeah,
And I know when I do this, they notice me.
No.
And I don't have to talk.
and I know that if I'm the only one in the barber that knows how to do that, they're gonna have to wait for me. Doesn't matter if you get a cut with him and then I have to style your hair.
Yeah, but then it got weird because then that's all you were doing at a time. And then no, they want you to cut.
Yeah.
So then again, you have to have more self-awareness.
And I have to like.
You got to be like, yo, chill. I got to get out of here.
And then to me, that's one of the things that push me to get better at cutting or coloring and stuff like that. Because eventually they're gonna know how to do it. Either they're gonna learn it from me at the shop, or they're gonna.
Yeah. So you're like, I'm giving away all this.
And then once they know, now I have to be the best at it because now they're gonna go to them.
Nah, they still don't know. People
Yeah,
don't
but
still know. People are trying to rewind the time.
But that's why when you see my work, it looks that way because I always try to like, bro. You see
Bro,
those
it looks
stuff.
amazing, bro. I salute you when I see your work. Like I know it look. Sometimes there's a little bit of filtration to make it look a little bit brighter, but for the most part, I went to art school, so I kind of know how to identify and see techniques how they're made. And sometimes I'm figuring out like, bro, how did he do this? You know, like I'm like, did he do a bleach before he did this? And then I'm like, no way. So, but then when I see the little step-by-steps that you do, I'm like, oh, shit, this guy broke the code.
Yeah, and it takes like 5-6 hours. And I make it longer because I want to like.
No, you want to get it perfect.
Yeah.
Which is what you need to do.
Yeah.
If you're rushed at a shop, like, yo, you got to hurry up.
And some people do it and they know and they have the techniques and everything. And when they think it's done, I still be on top of it. And that's what separates me from the other ones.
Yeah, but you don't walk away.
No. Until I don't feel this good, you're not leaving my chair.
Message.
That's always been my motto. Doesn't matter if I'm doing a skin fade or I'm doing a...
We're here until it's finished, until it's good, until it's perfect, because that represents you.
Yeah, it's your walking billboard. And you have to tell them no. Like
walking billboard. I like that.
If somebody's coming in with a messed up hair because they try to do their hair at home, and I know that if I touch that hair, it's going to be worse, no matter how much product I put in there or try to fix it.
You wouldn't even do it.
I wouldn't do it.
Have you gotten those?
Yeah. And
people that go to a cheap barber?
Yeah, and I told them, no, I can't do your hair. Your hair is too damaged. Oh, no, but this guy would do it. Go ahead. Go to him.
Nice.
Because the problem is that they're not going to tell the person
the truth. They're just going to take their money.
They're going to be like,
and then they'll blame you.
They'll be like, Gene, who did your hair? Oh, Bebe did it. You're not going to tell them, oh, no, I bleached it at home and I messed it up. He tried to fix it. Like, no, I did it. So everything that they're seeing, I did it, which it's not true.
Not it.
So that's why I was like, no, I'm not going to touch it. Because it's my name that's going to be there. Doesn't matter what happened before. As soon as I touch it, after that, it's my fault. So I just rather not.
You came to Miami, you were working at the spot, you were working at the shop, you're trying to make it work, you're balancing it. Then you left and you opened up your own little studio, right?
Yeah.
But no, you went to a salon that you had your own space.
Yeah, I went to a salon because I actually did I don't want to call it a hood shop because it wasn't.
No, it is what it is, bro.
But
it's a shop in the hood.
But it wasn't the same as the spot, you know?
No, of course not, because it's a different tier.
And then the people that are the clientele that I built there,
I always go to Target or you go to Walmart.
Yeah. So I always had this mentality, like you either be at the same level or better, but you don't go below because then you're gonna start losing people.
Correct. You'll get a new clientele, but you don't want that.
No, that clientele you're not gonna take them with you. So when I got there at this barbershop that El Body was working and a bunch of them, I thought that was like a high end shop.
Yeah,
you know, they had names and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. I went there, and when I went there, like I started noticing fast that my clients that used to not leave the shop without having their hair washed.
I'll be back.
No, I'll do it at home. Don't worry about it. This, and that. I was like, nah, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And
Self-awareness.
Then
Self-awareness, intuition. That little voice, that's not your voice. I always tell people this. People think I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. I hear things sometimes, and like in the sense of like I'll think of doing something, and then something will just be like, nah, don't do that. And I'll be like, what the? And then I'll think about it, and then I'll make a better decision. If you don't listen to that, or you're afraid to even try to remotely listen to that, you're gonna make the mistake.
Yeah, and you have to listen to that, and you have to be able to take risks. Because I just left a spot that I worked for a year and a half.
Carlos,
and
everybody that's been here, nobody has not said that they didn't take a risk. Everybody has taken a risk.
But a lot of people think that we get stuff by just doing the same thing over and over, and then eventually it's going to happen.
The things behind the scenes, man.
But that's the reason why I left that shop. No, nothing wrong with the shop. It was my clients.
No, self-awareness.
And I knew that if my clients weren't happy and I wasn't really looking forward to taking those clients that were going to that shop, then I was like, I need to get out of here. So I found this spot that was, love. It was a hair salon, but
it was a work living space salon in a nice building.
In a nice building. So I was like, well, the clients that I could make from this area, they're gonna be willing to pay what I charge. And on top of it, it's a nice area that I feel comfortable working on.
And then that started snowballing into what you're doing now.
Because eventually, if you're not comfortable where you're working at, your clients can notice. They notice when you don't want to cut their hair. They notice when you don't want to be there, and they're like, sometimes they think it's them.
The transfer of energy, bro. It's
and
not
then
there.
A person like me that don't like to talk to people and random,
they feel your energy,
and then it's like you don't want to.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
And a brand new person. My wife is total opposite. My wife would talk to the random stranger at the freaking supermarket. I'll go get ketchup, come back, and she knows, like, this person's whole life. But I'm not that. Like, I get a new person, and I'm like, I say the bare minimum. If they don't want to keep up the conversation, I'll stay quiet, and I'll cut them. So imagine if you're, like, in a place that you don't want to be, and now this guy probably think that you're mad at him. And, so to me, it's always been that. And then, I started working there, and I worked there for like 2 years and a half. And after the pandemic, I saw my wife. We had, my wife started working at the house doing nails because she used to work for Venetian right next door to Corway.
Okay.
And then after the pandemic, the whole unemployment stuff, and I was like, why are you gonna go back there and listen to them?
Get this.
Just stay home. At the end of the day, just do the nails and stuff
at the house. Yeah.
At the house. And then whoever comes, but then she was packed.
So you had to set it up.
Yeah, she had a little setup there, and then the neighbor that at first she used to do her nails, but then now she was too busy to do her nails, she threw her under the bus. And then and then they had to, like, the association send us emails like, oh, you can't be doing business here. You gotta move your business out of here.
Wow.
And that's
during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yo, why people like that, man?
I don't know.
Yo, guys, this podcast is for knowledge of self-awareness. Each one teach one. Love, live, laugh. Like, that bothers me, bro. Like, la gente are weird.
Yeah.
So what did you guys do after that?
So that's when I started going crazy looking for.
Did your girl get crazy on her, Puerto Rican style?
No. Oh, my wife is chill. Okay. I would have, but she would.
I'm about to say, man,
she's super
when you get
calm.
Puerto Rican, don't mess with a Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
especially a Puerto Rican woman.
What I did was I started searching for a place for her to work, and I went to the building that I was working and tried to get a suite for her and stuff, and then they just kept on telling us like, oh yeah, this guy is moving, so we're gonna put you on the list for that. And then let's say October came.
So waiting list.
Yeah, because there was a lot of people there, and they were raising the rent. I didn't know that at the time, so they started raising the rent. So some
people were leaving.
Some people were like, "No, I'm not paying that. I'm leaving." But then when they went out in the market, they realized that everything else was expensive, and they were like, "I'm just gonna stay in."
Got it.
So then they just kept on going that back and forth, and then she finally found a place that was renting a chair in Coral Gables, down where the park is at. And as soon as she was about to start, I told her, it's like, yo, if we get this place, I need you to, like, come with me, because I'm gonna go with you, so we both could pay the rent together. Because I'm paying rent over here, you're gonna be paying rent somewhere else. So we could combine this and then have other people work with us, and then eventually we don't really have to pay for the space. People help us pay for it, and then it's more money in our pocket. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, cool." And when she was about to start, she was like, "Oh, I don't know," like she was already creating the idea that she was gonna have her own space in her head. So when the person reached out and said like, "Yeah, come through," she was not happy.
She was hesitant.
Yeah, and then I asked her, "It's like, oh, like you're about to work, you're gonna have a space," and she's like, "I don't know, something doesn't feel right about this." Like I was already like thinking about that. Like, bro, 2 days later, I get an email from the building that they had a space available for me.
Oh wow!
And then I was like, "Yo, you gotta tell her." Like she's like, "Oh, how am I gonna tell her? I just told her I was gonna start Tuesday, and now I'm just gonna tell her I'm not gonna go." Just tell her. You wasn't thinking about it, and this space came about, and then in like 2-3 months, it's gonna be available for us. You're not gonna let go of the opportunity because you started working somewhere else.
But it's cool that you guys have good communication.
Yeah, but
that could have ended up bad.
It kind of did. It kind of did because she's like we.
You see the vision, she doesn't.
Yeah, and she gets comfortable, bro, and to get her out of there is like.
Yeah, but that's every woman, man.
But the problem is that to me it's like it's hard to like tell somebody like, "Yo, like this is better." Like, why would you want to work for somebody else when you can have your own?
I'm sure she had her friends, or maybe the lady that was like, "You sure you want to do that?"
She didn't even know.
Blah, 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 blah.
She didn't even know the person.
Also, it was just her inner self.
Yeah, she just like that. She always been like that.
Al contrario.
Yeah, so to me it's like it was tough, but eventually she did, and that's when we opened the space. Because I told her, with you or without you, I'm taking this spot. You just let me know.
That's the one that you got by yourself with her.
Yeah, that's the one.
Made it look beautiful.
That's the one that she had the second floor for herself, and I was working with one of the stylists downstairs, and it was just me and her. That was another thing. I didn't want to take nobody from that. Like I was like, I'm leaving. I'm not telling nobody, just the owner. Just giving my 30-day notice, so I don't be but I didn't want to say nobody. But
somebody left from there to go with you?
Yeah, because everybody started leaving. Somebody beside me, somebody was going to go somewhere else. This other guy was moving out of Miami. Then I was moving. And then she was like, at the time, my daughter got sick, and she had like an infection in her eye. Like she was hospitalized for a whole month. And I was supposed to start on February on the new space.
Wow.
And then I was like, bro, I need you to come with me because we were supposed to pay for this together. But she's in the hospital with the kid. And I was like, I started thinking. I told my wife, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to order another chair. I'm going to finance the other chair, and I'm going to get somebody to rent it with me. And then when you come back, then you come back.
Yeah, but you were made for this. You've been doing it since Puerto Rico. So once this happens, you're like, I got this.
And then
I got this.
I told this girl that she was always telling me like, oh, take me with you. Don't leave me here. And I was like, yo, like, are you serious about this? Because I just ordered a chair, and I'm going to post it in social media. And
I want to let you know first.
Yeah, I don't want you to feel bad and be like, oh, you didn't let me know.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, I was serious. I was like, okay, cool. But the problem is that it was like literally across the hall. Like the salon was here, my suite was here, and the owner lives here. So I was like, bro, like I told her, I was like, you got to talk to her because like I don't.
Was bad blood there or no?
No, she was cool. But to me, I didn't want to get involved because I already had said I was leaving by myself, and I was leaving by myself. If you wanted to come, you had to deal with that yourself. And then she went and talked to her, and I remember the time that she came, I was building the salon, and the owner, like my wife left the door open, and she was coming to her house, and then she was like, she's like, oh, can I come in? She came in and saw it. She's like, oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it was nice, man. You had the motorcycle inside, and you painted it. Who did all the designs? You did?
Yeah.
Wow, bro. You got talent, man.
And then she was like, oh, you got another chair? And I was like, yeah, I got another chair. And then she left, and I called the girl. I was like, yo, you need to talk to this lady now. You have to talk to her ASAP.
Wow.
Now, because
she had to know.
Now it's going to feel like I'm actually taking somebody when it wasn't.
It wasn't. I mean, bro.
But she talked to her and she was cool. Until this day,
you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Until this day, we're still cool. And even when she was working there, like we always had talk about the whole business side of it, and it was nothing bad. I'm glad that it was like that.
And at this time, were you still going to all the expos and were you going on the business?
I was going to the expos. I was in the pandemic. I actually started doing courses online because that was another way.
Yeah, I saw that. That was dope.
Yeah, because I had to make money. My wife was just like paranoid.
So you're like, man, let me teach.
Yeah, because El Bori was the one that asked me to make a flyer for him for a class that he had online. And then he was like, yo, you should do the same thing because people are paying for this. I was like, who the hell is going to pay for it? Like, why would you want to learn color if you can't even cut somebody? Like, that to me, that didn't make sense. But then
it doesn't make sense to us because, like you said, you do everything perfect. And then that's why it comes out the way it does.
And then he was like, no, people are paying. And that's when I started doing that. And then people started noticing me about this new hair color design with short hair and happy faces and hearts and all of that crazy stuff. And then when I had my studio, I was doing that at the time. I was doing that. And
so you're doing what, like 2 to 3 designs a day or 1 design a day?
I would do 2, 3 at the beginning. Then that died down a little bit, and I do once a week or every other week, and it'll be. I don't really rely on that, but I have to still do it because that's what makes me travel.
No, that's your flex right there.
Yeah. So, but to me,
everybody cuts now.
Yeah, but to me, that's the only thing that people will book me for. You know.
Yeah.
Like when I go to shows and stuff like that, they
book me because you're elite. You're on another level.
So. But as like for clients and stuff, that always been like the battle because like when people go to my page,
booked.
No, and they go to my page and they see all these crazy designs and then they're like, I just want a normal haircut. It's like, bro, I got you. I know how to cut normal people.
Yeah, but I don't want to get designs. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, my clients would refer me to other clients, and then they're like, oh, did this guy book? And I was like, no. And then it's like, oh, I told him. Like, oh, I saw his page, but he doesn't have like all I want is a scissor cut, and it's like
you should do that, man. You should have maybe your reels will be color, and then your normal stills will be just pick of.
Yeah, haircuts. That's why like a couple of months ago I started posting more like before and after stuff, but yeah, it's a balance. But in one side, you're making all this money from the shows and traveling and doing.
Well, how did you get to the money to do the shows, or did you do the shows and get the money? In which order did it go? Because you were doing celebrity barbers, but you weren't posting it.
No,
so nobody knew unless it was word of mouth.
Yeah,
that spread because I remember hearing it.
Yeah, but the shows I started going to shows. By myself.
Like, got in your car, you rode out.
Yeah, I went there. I wanted to see people. I wanted to see what they were doing and stuff like that. And that's when I cut my hair. Remember I had the long hair?
Yeah,
like
I remember you said, yo, I'm going to the Orlando one.
And I cut my hair and I dyed my hair on purpose. And I cut color all over it. Because in my head, I was like, they're going to remember. They don't remember my name. They're going to remember, oh, did you see that kid with the color hair? He does color. Like to me, that was like, okay, I'm going to do this to draw attention. And then it's
smart.
Like,
awareness.
And then
self-awareness.
I started doing that. And people started following me for that. And then it's like, oh, who did your color? It's like, oh, I did. It's like, oh, you do that?
You did it to yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's and like, I always used to do that back in the day.
So like, you always had experience.
Yeah, because what I used to do is like, let's say, for instance, when the gray hair started being a thing, like way back in the day, like 2011, 2010, right? I did freaking gray hair on my head. And the clients was like, oh, like, who did that? And like, oh, I did it. It's like, oh.
Do it to me. Yeah.
You think you could do it to me? And I always used to do that to spark the conversation, to force them to get something new.
Nice.
And then when I was like, okay, I could use this to create awareness of what I'm doing because it's hard to like.
So how, like, this is what I always get. Like, people don't know where to start. They don't know if to like, but you just told everybody you were doing it to yourself so you could advertise it or spark the conversation.
When I started doing color, like when I started writing people's head and doing all that crazy stuff, I started with Danilo that used to work in the shop.
Okay.
And then I wanted to do it. And I told Danilo, I want to do this. And then he's like, bro, I'm old. Like, I don't want to get that in my hair. Like, I'm not going to look right with that. It's like, no, bro, just let me do it because I want to practice. I want to create the content so people could see that I could do it, and then I could get the people that I want. And they was like, oh, no, bro, that doesn't match my lifestyle. I was like, bro, let's do this. I do it. I take the pictures in the video, and then I put it black the same day or the next day. You tell me which one you want. It's like, okay, cool, let's do it. And that's how I told everybody. Wow. Like, don't tell me you don't have a model when you could have somebody, a friend. Like,
no, you didn't take no for an answer, man. Like,
and everybody started that way.
You didn't do that with your wife. You didn't do that with Danilo. You always had the vision, self-awareness. You created the concept, and you were riding because you didn't want to go back to what? Construction?
No, hell no.
Hell no.
No, the thing is with me, it always has been, like, I always want more, but I know that I have to get it and find a way to get it. Like, it hasn't been like, I'm not going to sit here and wait till, like, that shit falls on my lap.
And how do you deal with the pricing of your services?
The pricing, I do it based on my hourly rate. So let's say
your hourly rate.
Yeah, let's say I charge $60 a haircut, right? An hour. So if it takes me 5 hours, then I just
$300.
So I started pricing it that way because I knew that if I put the price at 150 like everybody else, I'm gonna be losing money because it's gonna take me time. And I know myself, I'm not gonna stop.
Yeah, you just said it.
I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, no, I have a client. All right, just go like that. No, that's not gonna happen. So as long as I'm making the same amount that I will be making if I'm cutting somebody, I'm fine doing it. And it helps me too when I talk to other people in other countries or other places. It's like, bro, if you charge,
you've been to Colombia, been to Peru,
Mexico, Puerto Rico, Dubai, and
went to Dubai.
Yeah,
fuck you didn't. What was this in Dubai?
I was with Elegance last year, and we went to Mexico to the expo, and then from there we went to.
How does that? Don't they wear the things over there?
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, we went there in the middle of this whole mess with the Israelis and all of that stuff.
That was crazy.
I remember we bought the little thing, the one, you know, that they always show in the videos and stuff. They had the red one.
Yeah.
Right. So the red one is like for the locals. Like the more like army looking and black and white, they're
That's
more
for
like
surveillance. What is surveillance?
They're like rebels and stuff like that.
The rebels.
So
and you wanted one of those,
bro. We got those because that was like that matches our clothes, and it was
they
like,
thought you were the rebel,
bro. When we went to the show, the guy was like, "Yo, take that off because this whole like tension is like too high, and you guys look like
rebels,
like the people from Gaza or something."
Yo, man, people don't understand that this world is in a place where everything's very sensitive.
Yeah,
and over people don't believe it, man. People think it's amazing here and everything. Yeah, it's cool, but you also got to think that the reality is that we live in a very protected country, but also can't really speak and say what you want to say because everybody's sensitive.
And Dubai used to be like that. We spoke to some people there. Dubai used to be like super strict that like even if I went with my wife, we couldn't hold hands.
Yeah, I know.
But now is chilled out because they had
the World Cup, I guess.
Yeah, they had to bring it down because there was a lot of tourists that wasn't going, and you know.
Yeah, they were building a lot, and they're like, "Yo, we need people to come." Now Dubai is like
Miami,
futuristic.
Bro. Like
they switched it. They used all that money.
And that's another thing that I learned in Dubai with the whole Miami stuff. It's like, bro, you get accustomed to this, and when you go somewhere else, it doesn't impress you anymore. Like it was like everybody was like, "Oh, yo, look at this, look at that. Oh, look at the Lamborghini." I'm like,
it's like, yeah,
cool.
It's okay. Yeah, because you're desensitized. You don't see nothing like it was before.
The only thing that impressed me was obviously the camello and shit. Like
yeah, because you don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see that. And the buildings are like, they're big, but the structure is like in a way that is like super weird.
It's
and
amazing what they did there.
It looks like futuristic.
And they haven't finished yet. They're going to keep working on that.
But other than that, it was like everything was normal. Like what you see here. Oh, the sky is like orange looking. And
so Dubai, where else did you go?
Panama, Dubai, Colombia, Mexico. Peru.
So you traveled the world.
Yeah.
Because of this haircut thing.
And it's funny. All the freaking punches that I have in my passport, they've all been because I haven't even taken a vacation none of those places that I've been to.
Wow.
All of them
You
has
never
been
thought
because
that
of a
would be
clipper.
what it is, right? Like when you were starting.
They're all like from a clipper, basically.
That would, wow. Message in this game, man, is very. There's like forks in the road, and you got to know where to go, how to do things. But you're very self-aware. As a, I don't know if maybe something happened to you when you were a kid that made you self-aware. Because from what you're describing to me is like every time you had a hard decision to make, you made the right one.
I would say my grandfather had a lot to do with that, because my grandfather was the type of person that will always work for like everything. And bro,
yeah, if he wanted something, he'll get it.
Yeah, and then we were like he raised me from 2 to like 10.
That's what it is.
And then, bro, we couldn't, like, if you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to work, we couldn't be sleeping. We had to go clean the yard or do something. Like, we couldn't. And then, like, if he had like a screwdriver, like, he couldn't find it. He'll go and buy a screwdriver. It's like, bro, you got like 20 of them over here. Oh no. And then when I remember,
I'm not gonna waste time looking for.
Yeah, and when I remember when I was gonna buy a car, I was like, yo, like, it was a $2,500 car. It wasn't like a new car. So I was like, yo, like, I want my own car. My grandmother gave me her cars to use, but I wanted my own.
So he's like,
and then he was like, I was like, yo, well, I need your signature to get this loan.
Yeah.
He's like, no. If you don't have the money cash, you don't need the loan. You need to save the money and get the car. I was like, bro, it's easier to get the loan to buy the car.
Bro, that's a life lesson right there.
And then he's like, no, it's easier, but you're going to pay double. And then you're using money.
Yeah, you're paying interest.
Yeah, you're using money that you don't have.
I tell everybody, I tell barbers all the time. I'm like, yo, man, why are you going to get this Beamer when you can't afford it? Because you want people to think you're winning. You want people to think you're making the money. You want to have this illusion. Mm-hmm. But in reality, you don't.
It's not. It's not. Like it happened to me in Dubai. Like, these people were like my friends and everybody that was there. They were like, bro, you're crying in front of the freaking Burj Khalifa thingy.
What thing?
That building that is like the highest.
High as hell?
They were crying, and I get it. It was so surreal.
Those are people that come from other countries.
Yeah, no, they come from other countries. Some of them were from Puerto Rico, Orlando.
They never seen that.
No, I never seen it. Like, it wasn't.
What is it, like 100 stories, 200 stories?
I don't know. That shit was big.
It's humongous, like, right? That's
the
one that's lit up, that turns.
The one that you see in New Year's.
Yeah.
That one. But they were there, like, submerged in this whole, like, reality. Like, bro, we're in Dubai.
Wow, we made it.
And then to me, it was like, bro, I don't feel what you guys are feeling, because they're like, yo, you know how many people
it's a building.
It's like, you know how many people would die to, like, be in this place right now? It's like, yeah, bro, but you know how many people would pay whatever to be in the States and you are there?
That's true.
When you go to South America,
that's a very, very
and you talk to these
point,
people that they see United States like a huge thing, you get this.
That's an important point, man, because I always tell my kids, man, I'll be like, yo, let's go to the supermarket. All right, let's go. And then we're walking, and they're like, Dad, why don't we take the car? I'm like, bro, it's a block away. I don't want to walk a block away. I go, look, right now, somebody's in a hospital praying to God, hoping, wishing that they'll be able to get up and walk to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And you could walk right now to the supermarket, get whatever you want, and walk back, but you don't want to do it. Like, you guys got to snap out of this, you know, because one day, everything will change.
Yeah. And to me, it's one of those things that, yeah, you live an experience, and now that I look back, it's like, I went there, right?
Exactly.
But the thing is that at that time, all I could think of is that I was FaceTiming my wife and my kids at home, and I was there.
And you wanted to be with the wife and kids? You didn't give a damn about the building?
No. Because
like
to
Nas said it in his rhyme, he goes, when you can afford it, the car ain't important.
Mm-hmm.
And
to me, it's more important to, when you feel that you made it, it's like when you and yours made it. Like, it doesn't matter what I accomplished. If my family's still at home and they're not living what I'm living, I still got a lot of work to do.
Damn, that was amazing. That was awesome. Good message, bro. That was a good message.
It's just one of those things.
So that's what keeps driving you.
Yeah, it keeps driving me. And just being real. Like, to me, bro, I know a lot of barbers.
Yeah,
that if they will have the space that I have, bro, and you'll be so fed up about their freaking posts and the stories, flexing on the world, and I don't do that because to me it's like, bro,
I like it.
I like it, I love it. Don't get me wrong, like
I'm saying I like your style, the way you do it, because it's not like blank, 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 blank. It's like once in a while you get a nice little, oh, dope, all right, cool, and it stays in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see this guy all the time posting which is cool. You're getting out there buying posts and buying sponsorships and all that. But when you drop yours, like you said, you take your time. It's done right. People that know acknowledge it.
And to me, it's like, it's cool. The ocean view and everything is dope, but
That's the space you're at now.
yeah. But I need that for when I go home. I don't need it when to work until I don't have
So
it.
your goal is to get to that point with the family and work and family same.
Yeah, because think about it.
Yeah, you want your family to see the ocean and see.
I'm there all day.
You're
every
pretty
day.
much providing what you want for your family for your clients.
Exactly.
But that's the hustle.
And to me, that's what really messed with my head. Like I was talking last year, I was talking to a friend of mine in Orlando. It's like, bro, I'm thinking I'm going over there. And it's like, wow, you have this dope space. I'm like, bro, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I have this space to work.
Yes.
If my family can enjoy.
Orlando, I think, is the new spot, man. Everybody's starting to ride out there. Starting to
It's
boom.
just too cheap, bro. Not too cheap. It just
It's fair priced.
yeah.
And
I remember when I moved here in 2018.
it was fair priced.
Yeah, a
Now
3-bedroom was like $2,500. Now you
it's
can't even get a
crazy.
1-bedroom for that price.
And then if we charge more for haircuts,
We can.
they're like,
can't.
you're crazy, bro. I'm like, what?
And the problem with that is that I notice, like for instance, the spot, right? The spot has these nice shops, high end, right? But for the normal client that is looking in Google, he puts barber near me, you're comparing yourself to that.
That's
so
true.
You like when the client looks at my prices, be like, oh, this guy charges 60 and this spot starts at 40.
Yeah.
And they both in a nice place. Which one you think that they're gonna pick? Because there you're not comparing haircuts, you're just comparing pricings and convenience.
Yeah.
And the spot has one spot in every freaking corner.
I think it's 28 now.
So when you look at that, it keeps the prices, the market rate at that market rate.
Yeah, you
So
can't charge more.
So the longer the spot keeps the prices at that, the longer the market is gonna stay at that.
That's
because
what it is. It's a monopoly. It's a
We
takeover.
always gonna be compared to that until they go there, they don't like it, or they get a bad experience from a haircut because the spot itself, like the business itself, is not gonna give you a bad experience. Like,
No, man. You walk in there, you get top notch
but
service.
if you don't like the haircut, then that's when you're gonna start looking for this specific haircut.
or if you want like haircut design, color,
Yeah.
hair, you know, because people ask me all the time, "Hey, you know anybody?" I'm like, "Yeah, go to Bebe. Bebe got you." And then they'll be like, "Oh no, it's $300." I'm like, "What'd you expect, bro? You wanted to do hair color for like $100? Like you don't. That doesn't happen."
But yeah, Miami right now is in that bubble because everything has gone up. Think about it. I came over here. I just told you in 2018, the rent for a 3-bedroom was $2,500, and
No,
now
$2,500 is a studio.
now you can even
If
get a
you're lucky.
studio for that.
If you're lucky at Edgewater
So-
or downtown or Brickell.
So when I started at the spot in 2018, the regular haircut was $30. So you mean to tell me in 2024 is $40?
No, and it's difficult, man, because you gotta gauge and you gotta look at your clientele and you gotta figure things out. And to be honest, I think it's at a fair price for what they offer.
Yeah, for them, because they have
Correct.
a structure and they have a bunch of people working. But for a person that is like you,
Independent, yeah.
independent is not gonna be that.
It's not gonna be easy, but then again, at the end of the day, is the hustle, man.
Yeah,
Who is gonna do what they have to do to get the clients that they have to client?
now you
Because I
have
have clients over 20 years, so if I charge $10 more, they're gonna be like, "Yo, all right." That happened when I went from the hood shop to the spot. I told them, "Yo, yesterday's prices is not today's prices." Bro. They're like, "This is amazing! Wow, this is great." I'm like, "Yeah, now it's gonna cost you more."
and I have done the same. I started at 30 at the spot, left, kept the price at the same. Then when $10 more, $10 more. Now I'm 60.
Yeah, but your spot is a nice, well-managed, well-kept spot.
But now I have to figure out a way to show people that.
I mean, you're doing a pretty good job, and you
Yeah.
showed how you built it. You did everything. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's a matter of time. But at that time, I was thinking like I want a 3-bedroom because I have 2 kids. So it's like I put my wife and my kids through all of this, and they're still in a 2-bedroom. So to me, it's like,
So you still have awareness to be like, I need more. I want more. Even though you're doing celebrity barbers,
yeah,
you're cutting celebrities. Even though you're going to all these different competitions, did you enter any competitions or no?
yeah. I went to this competition called BTC, which is behind the chair. I went there, and last year I got top 25
Nice. In the nation.
in the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
salute.
this year I got top 100 because there's still like,
There's a lot of politics.
yeah, it's a lot of politics. I got nominated last year for the studio decoration and for the haircut and designs.
That's a category?
yeah.
Studio
They
decoration?
had a suite decor and salon decor,
Oh, shit.
and
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
put-
just said that. You're
yeah,
just dope.
I just put it there, and then I got top 25. But that's kind of, bro. They put me against this girl that had this suite and it had like this nice view around there. But the pictures that they picked, it was like the stations, and I was like, bro, if you would have picked the other picture that has the view, then we could compete. But you don't get to pick which picture they use. So like, because once they nominate you, people
Yeah.
have to vote based on the picture that they pick.
And you sent them a bunch of pictures.
It was every angle of the studio. I was like, yo, you would have picked this one.
Yeah, but maybe that's not it. Or they told you that was why. You just thinking that it was because of that.
No, they just pick random.
No, I'm saying, but you think it's because of the view that she won?
Of course,
Because the view's amazing.
bro.
man.
It has, you know, those living room that has like the round
the
glass.
wraparound.
Yeah, she had the stations there, and you could see the wraparound glass.
And
when
where
you
was
see
this
it-
at? L.A.?
No, it was like some North Carolina or something like that.
Wow.
It was like green and stuff. It's not like no crazy view like
Yeah,
skyline
it was
view.
just mountains.
But you could see it. It's beautiful. It's like.
Wow.
Like for the living room is dope. Imagine to have your station surrounded by the nature.
So you did the sweet contest. What else did you do? Designs?
The designs, the hair color. That's about it. I don't like to compete a lot. I don't really.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I don't like the competing of it. I don't. I like it.
You like the lecturing and teaching.
I like that better because I feel that that's helping.
Yeah, the competition is more like
is
me.
bragging rights, which is cool. But like I was telling the guys in Dubai, it's like, you know, people are gonna forget about this in 2 weeks.
Yeah, like nobody remembers who won 2010.
Yeah, unless you're one of those that have all your trophies in your stations.
I got rid of all my trophies.
But you know, it's an accomplishment for the barber that's doing it,
Yeah.
and I don't knock it because you know it's dope. You know, you have to prepare yourself and compete.
Yeah, it's just not for
But
me, bro.
it just-
Knowledge itself, I didn't feel, like I said, my intuition, I didn't like it. I didn't like being pulled and like talking to different people I didn't know. And people I saw and I said hi to, and they were acting a different way. And then when I won, they were all like, oh my God, Gene. I'm like, yo, man, you were just acting crazy right now. Now you're
Yeah.
like, oh, Gene. And now when you see me, hey, I'm like, yo, man.
Yeah, I'm the same way, which sometimes it backfires. But
Nah, it doesn't, man. Look,
Like-
the universe never makes mistakes, bro.
no, I'm
I tell
saying
that
like
to everybody.
like-
Don't ever stress. Don't ever worry. Don't ever doubt. Don't have anxiety. Just let it. Just
No,
be
when-
righteous. Live good.
no.
do
When
what
I
you have
say
to do,
when I
teach,
say it
you're good.
backfires is because sometimes people get the wrong impression because they probably think
Yeah, but
they're
that's
like,
their problem.
yeah. But to me, it's like I don't want them to get that impression, but at the same time, sometimes it's
You
like
can't
bro,
please everybody, especially when you get to the point where you're at, that you're on a stage, and you have people viewing you and seeing you. If you want to be perfect to everybody, you're gonna fail. Bro.
No, in Dubai, that actually bothered me a lot because there was a lot of people just taking pictures, and I mean, we're not from there. I get it,
Yeah.
but then like sometimes I were like, oh yeah, we take a picture, bro. They wouldn't let us breathe, and then you're like, and one of the guys are like, yo, follow us on Instagram. It's like, what's the Instagram? So I was like, oh, so you don't even have my Instagram? It's like I'm doing all of this, and you don't even follow me yet. So it's like, oh, come on, man. Like,
Yeah, but that's growing pains, man. There's gonna get to a point that you're gonna be like, talk to that guy, and then you're gonna have an assistant that's gonna do all that.
But it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like when I go to shows, like not Dubai, because I didn't know nobody and nobody knew who it was.
And what was that show called?
It's called the Beauty Expo Middle East Beauty.
That was
Expo.
the first year.
No, they always do it every year. The thing is
How
that
many years have been doing that? That's the first time I heard of it.
I don't know how many years, but I remember when Elegance first started. Like,
And they
back
flew
in
all you guys over there.
Yeah, not
Holy
all
shit.
of us. We were like 6 of us. That's a lot
Still,
of.
that's a lot of bread.
Oh, that freaking flight is crazy.
I wouldn't do that.
This is long. And then we took a flight from Ciudad Mexico to Cancun, 2 hours. Sat there for 2 hours because we couldn't get off the plane. They were cleaning the plane and everything.
You had to sit on the plane?
You had to sit there because people were getting on it. And then we flew 16 hours to Turkey. And then from Turkey, 5 hours to Dubai.
And you couldn't get off at Turkey?
No, yeah, we got off.
Okay, about to say.
Yeah, and we got off in Turkey, and then we catch another plane for Dubai. But, bro, we got there like the other day. We left here.
Yeah, 24 hours at least, no?
Yeah, it was like 24 hours. And then we left there the other day. We got there at like a night the other day. It's
Slept,
like,
and then you had to go to the show?
it was crazy. But
Rockstar life, man.
But it was a good experience after all. Like,
You'll do it again?
I'll do it again. But I want to, like, enjoy it. Like,
Yeah, you want to go chill, not have to be pulled in the... So you might go just to be a spectator this time instead of...
no, if they put me to work, I'll go. But I would, knowing what I know now, I would take more time to like explore. And like we were at the show from 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 to like 6. By the time we were done, bro, we were like
Exhausted.
bruh. And we were doing the documentary and stuff. There's a
What documentary?
we recorded the whole stuff.
Elegance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're
recorded-
supposed to like edit it and post it.
Has it been out? They never put it out?
No, I might edit it myself and put it out. But
Hell yeah.
I have all the footage, so most likely I'll edit it and just put it out. Because we were doing all of the interviews ourselves and talking about the whole experience and all of that
You
stuff.
do that too? You do editing and all that
Yeah.
stuff? Hell yeah.
That's why I have all the stuff in my studio. I take all the pictures, all the videos, everything that you see on my page.
One-man team. That's what's up, man.
Because I've been the person that if I
Like your grandfather.
my grandfather.
Yo, man, your grandfather.
why
Is
I-
he still
that's-
here with us or no?
No, he's not.
Bless,
But
man.
that's why I say like I get a lot of that from them.
Yeah, of
like, if
course.
I
You
don't
have that
know it,
one
like-
person, man. But like, if a viewer out there, if you don't have somebody in that realm to push you, just take Bebe's advice, man, and do what you got to do to get what you got to get. No handouts, no nothing. I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and I was like, "Yo, man, I think I'm gonna do this thing like by myself," you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "Man, that's the best way you could do it." And anybody you tell that to, they tell you that. So you got to listen to that, you know, and see what's next. What's next?
Right now, I want to start an online academy for coloring. That's what
And when are you gonna start that?
I was supposed to have a meeting today, and I missed it. But as soon as I get that down, because I finally found these people from Colombia that have the structure for it, where like it has like you're not just gonna get a certificate because you took the course and you send me an email and I'm just gonna write a. You're gonna have
So it's an academy that they already have built,
yeah.
but they have it built for something else, and you're just gonna incorporate your style.
Yeah, I have to
Wow.
do the whole. That's why I have a meeting with them because I have to do all the videos and all the structure. But the system is in place where it's based on your progress. It's not based on like you sit there, put the video, and let it rock.
So
Like
you gotta learn, you gotta execute, and then you gotta show what you've done.
You have to take quizzes and stuff, and then you get the certificate.
That's badass.
Because I want them to learn. That's the whole point.
Yo, that's gonna blow up.
I don't want it to do it because just to make money.
Do you have a name for it yet? No.
I had the Create It Academy, but maybe I used that name. I had it.
Sounds good.
I had it from the pandemic, and I still haven't because this started in the pandemic when I started doing the classes. So it's like a lot of people that
from the classes spawned what you're thinking about doing now.
because a lot of people from South America wanted to take the courses, but they didn't have PayPal. They didn't have like in Colombia they do.
And you did everything online through FaceTime, right?
Yeah, through Instagram.
Wow. And they couldn't pay you, so
and they couldn't
get in.
pay. So and it was $25. That's why I had it like super cheap for that. and they couldn't pay. And I realized that the people that were actually paying was people from here in Puerto Rico. And I was like, no, it's not for you guys. It's for them.
Yo, so some people have problems that they don't have people that want to pay. And you have a problem that you have too many people that want to pay, but they can't.
They can't because all they do over there, they do from bank to bank transfer or money orders or Western Union and stuff like that.
Wow, man.
So you have to have connections from people down there that have all the payment options. So I found these people that have all the payment options, and they take all the payment options that they could have over there. So now that's why I'm going to launch it now, because now there's going to be more people that are willing to.
And when are you going to launch this, in winter or end of the year?
Yeah, by the end of the year it should be done. Because now I have to like sit down and record all the content and just put it out there.
Hell yeah.
And once it's done, then I just put in my feed, and then people just sign up.
I'm going to join that shit. I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's nothing else.
I want to do two, one for in Spanish and one in English, because in English, that's another thing that I noticed that there's not a lot of people doing what I'm doing in English. So what I did was I always been focusing in Spanish, because that's
like, the world right now.
Yeah, to me, that's what.
That's pretty much like that culture. Mm-hmm. The reggaeton.
And then, but now that I started traveling, a lot of people been asking me like, "Oh, do you do it? You do it in English?" I was like, "Yeah," but I don't have a course in English. I don't have the people that I'll be like, "I'll launch a class today in English." I know not a lot of people are gonna come. So
awesome, brother. So you're having the academy online coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Elite, right? Top of the best of the best. What else, man? What else is coming up?
That's about it. Like honestly, I wanna keep growing the space that I have, but eventually I wanna open another space, but somewhere else.
Still in Florida, or you maybe go in Florida, or maybe North Florida.
Maybe North Florida for now, or
just travel back and forth.
Yeah, because I wanna have, like, I don't like shops like regular barber shop.
No,
I want like
outgrown it, man.
I want to have like creative spaces where other people could grow and create their content while they're cutting hair, and that's like what I like about
an artist fellowship.
Yeah, so
each one teach one.
I want to have
no competition. There's no greed. There's no, hey, yo, I'm next on the line. Like, what you talking about?
Yeah, I like
that
that lifestyle, but I just kind of feel that a lot of people are getting suites, and they're overpaying for this small ass space that they can't really grow. Eventually, you're gonna grow out of it.
They're being used, bro.
And then you rent them.
They're using you for your efforts, your talents. It's like vampires.
You have a freaking block, and then you spend all this money, and then now you can't even have somebody working with you. You can't even take pictures. You don't have. You have to
keep that momentum, or else you get stuck. But what I tell everybody that we're doing, in a sense, is we're outgrowing the system that was created for us. There's no one above what we've done, in the sense of like, okay, we were shops, became the best in shops, and then now we're expanding to going house calls. Then now you're expanding to color. Then what's next? Mm-hmm. And what you're providing for us is what's next.
Yeah,
and it's cool, man. It's also scary at the same time, because you don't know how is it going to turn out. Yeah, but if you do everything like the way you've been doing it, I think you're going to be doing a good thing.
And one of the things that when I was having that conversation with going to Orlando or not, is like I told my wife, it's like, I'm not leaving Miami yet until I haven't tried everything in my power to like.
Yeah, but I don't think you don't need to do that. Now that they have the train?
No, I know, but I'm saying
now that
like,
you're editing?
Like my wife was telling me like, oh, we should go. And I was like, yeah, but I have to make sure that there's nothing else.
You know what you got to do, man. Listen to your intuition. You got this, though. I don't think there's nothing you can't do.
Yeah, but I want to feel that if I make a move, I did everything that I can to like make sure that I stay here. And then if that doesn't work, then I do it somewhere else. But I just don't want to like, oh, shit is complicated, and then now I'm just like
just right out. No.
Because
I don't think that's in your character, man.
But a lot of people make that mistakes. Shit gets tough, and then they just they just look at the grass greener on the other side. They're
and
like,
then they get there and they're like, oh shit, and then to come back, it's even harder.
Oh, I should have stayed, or I should have done this, or I should have done that.
My opinion, man, I think you should do both, and then from there keep growing. I mean, at our age, what we're doing with family, that's what it's all about. You know,
especially when you getting older. I always have this thing. Like I always said, as a barber, I want to be the old barber cutting the old client, but because I want to, not because I have to.
Yes.
And that always like stuck.
Everything's
with me.
paid for.
Yeah,
You just cut hair because that's what you.
Yeah, because I see the viejitos cutting each other. You're like, yo, like I want to be able to do that.
You will,
but not like, oh, he doesn't have Social Security. He doesn't have nothing. He just cutted his only clients as he has for years.
For 40 years.
Yeah, he's barely like like nah.
They're both blind. They don't even know.
They don't even know if it's good or not.
I see barbers like that. Where is it? In Ball Harbor, man. Sometimes I go to the Flanagan's there and I walk by the barbershop, old school barbershop, and I look inside. It's been there, bro. I grew up on the beach, so over 30 years. And that same barbershop, I always used to pass by, and I look inside, and the same guys are in there. Viejitos, man. I'm talking about, like, their back is hunched, and they have their hours is hilarious. 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's all they work. So from after that, they're closed.
They're closed.
And I'm like, these guys only work, like, 7, 8 hours, but 6 to 2. And I'm sure they only do like 4 haircuts.
No, because if you catch him at 3, he might fall asleep.
Or he has to go to a doctor's appointment or something. But
yeah, but to me, one of the things that helps me a lot with that is going back when I go back to Puerto Rico. It's a thing that we have there, that we have this mentality. It's like, oh, over here, you work to live. Like you work and you pay.
Yeah,
you pay.
They call it check to check.
So over there, it's like you live to work. So you don't really care about like you living and you're spending.
You gotta balance work-life balance.
The problem is with that is like every time that I go back, bro, it looks like everything has been in the same place. They probably had the same paint in the freaking house. And
ambition, man. Some people have it, some people don't. Or some people's dreams was to do that. Or they don't have the self-awareness. They don't have the intuition. Or they don't have self-knowledge on how to do things.
But to me, it's like one of those things is you get so comfortable because I was in that place. Now when I go back and I see my boy, like I always go visit my boy that he used to work with me, and I see him in the same spot all the time. You know, like,
he's probably making a little bit more money.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't talk about it. It's just friends.
But the thing is that to me.
So what would you tell? Like, what would you tell people? You could, like, right now, you're going to reach out to a lot of people. What would you tell those people?
If I would give you an advice is to never stop reaching out for more. Doesn't matter if you're, like, getting to where you want to be.
What's next?
What's next? Because if you don't do that, you're going to stop growing.
And then you're stuck doing what you're doing. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But times change, cultures change. For instance, like I told you, I want to start learning the coloring thing, but not to do like the crazy funky shit. Mm-hmm. I want to bring it back to the old traditional style where you would take a person's color, match it perfectly, and make the blends look so nice that the guy doesn't look like he got a Beijing, doesn't look like he got painted.
Yeah.
Because that's an art. What these kids are doing nowadays, bro, I don't know. They look like Lego pieces walking around. It looks crazy. I look at them sometimes. I'm like, yo, guy, you're supposed to not make it look like it's painted on.
It's not supposed to look fake.
It's supposed to look.
It's all an enhancement for a reason.
It's all an enhancement. But these kids are bugging, man. It's like.
But have you gone to middle school lately?
No,
bro. These kids are like mushrooms.
Well, I mean, I drop off these kids let their hair grow crazy.
Think about it. When we were in middle school back in the day,
you had to have a fade.
You had to have a fade.
You'll get picked on, beat up.
These kids nowadays, they don't want to get haircuts. They don't even care about their image. They're walking around having not gotten a haircut.
5,000 followers, so they're good.
They care more about the digital image than what they care about it.
That's crazy.
They have more friends online than what they have in school.
That's not friends, man. Guys,
I know.
All the followers you have, that ain't even real, man.
Nah,
you guys gotta get out of the matrix.
But the problem with that is, when I look at the industry, people say, "Oh, you're barber, you're always gonna have a job." Yeah, talk to us in the pandemic. What happened? Yeah. Now, this generation, when it grows, when they're not so self-aware about their image, what's gonna happen to us?
That's a good question.
So we need to start looking for stuff to put ourselves in position that when we're not that essential, we have other resources and other things to do.
Correct. Very well.
Real estate, this, that, businesses, because
Yeah,
cutting
make
hair,
moves, man. Make moves and think
cutting
about the
hair
future.
is good, but you have to have other options.
Or say something happens to your hand, bro. I think
Bro,
about that shit all the time. Like,
that's
bro,
why my bike is sitting in the studio. People
something
ask me
happens
all
to
the
my
time.
hand, man. This is $1 million hand right here.
People ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, why you have a bike just sitting there? Is it a decoration piece?" It is now. And then they're like,
Oh, the orange one?
Yeah, they're like, well, I bought it at a time that I needed another car.
Yeah.
But Miami traffic is just crazy. And all I could think of is like, this guy is on his phone. It's going to hit me. If I get a broken hand, I can't work for 2 months.
Man, you guys got to think of that too. And if you're going to still have a bike, get insurance. Insure yourself. Insure your hands. Do that.
Get those type of insurance that when you're in the hospital and you're not working, is paying for your bills.
Correct.
Not just to pay your medical bills, just to replace that income.
Yeah, just to make sure you and the family are good for the time being.
But I would say don't put yourself in that position, but
so yeah,
you want.
So we traveled from Puerto Rico to New York to Miami, and then you traveled the world. I would fucking Dubai, Panama. Damn, you've been everywhere. You've done everything. Okay, like I said, what would you tell yourself 20 years ago?
20 years ago?
But you talking to yourself, not somebody that you want to consejo.
I would tell myself, invest in yourself. Back then, my younger self was so caught up in the whole life and appearance. We didn't have social media back then, but we needed to have that Mercedes in front of the shop so they know that we were good, you know? So
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
So it's always been that. But at the time,
so invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself. Because the more knowledge you have, the farther you're going to go. The more you know, the more.
So invest in yourself as far as learning
and learning everything. Now, I'm not saying
taking
just
the classes, doing the courses.
I'm not saying just cutting hair. Business-wise, investments, all of that stuff.
Yeah, if you want to do something, learn how to do it.
Yeah, and
you
learn.
Wouldn't have wasted. You would have probably been in a way more advanced place than you are now.
And learn how to make your money grow for you. That's one of the things that I to this day I'm like, how do I do that? Like, I want to do that. Like,
like stocks and stuff.
No, not really stocks. Like, for instance, if you buy a property, and then it's paying itself eventually,
the equity.
You have equity and all of that. I didn't know that. My grandfather didn't teach us that. He had a bunch of houses and he didn't tell me how to do it. All he told me
he probably didn't know either.
He probably didn't know. He knew that was a good thing to do, but he didn't know how to explain it. But to me, it's like, now that I know all these things, because I've been curious.
That on to that. Exactly.
I've been curious about it. If I would tell my 20-year-old
20 years ago now.
20 years ago, I would tell them to invest in yourself, to get the knowledge that you need to
set yourself up.
Do a lot of stuff with your money so you can set yourself up and don't have to do a lot of stuff, sacrifices. Because if, like I said, 8 months I was here, I ain't getting that back. All of the time that I spent in the shop working so late that I barely could hold my family because I was cutting that one last client, I'm not getting that back.
You're not getting that back.
Doesn't matter what. I could put them in a penthouse in Miami if I could care. But that time is not coming back. My kids are super grown now.
Yeah, man. You're talking about family time. That's very important. Yeah, I stopped cutting on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Because my kids were already in their teens. And I'm like, bro, I spent like a day and a half with my kid. Like, really? And it's Sunday, so they want to sleep. They wake up like around 1:30. We really start hanging out like around 2:33, and then at 8, 9, hey, get ready for bed. You got school tomorrow. So maybe 5-6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturdays, maybe another 5-6 hours.
And one of those hours, they're like on their phone, on their iPads.
Yeah,
or something.
man. So like, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna working Saturdays anymore. And I haven't done that for almost 18 months already.
Yeah, the girl that does my hair, she has done that for 6 years. She only works 4 days.
And you could do that. You just got to consolidate your team, your people. You got to let them know, hey, look, this was happening, and people accept it. They're like, okay, G, no problem. I mean, I have those people that don't come to me anymore because they love their Saturday haircuts. Mm-hmm. But, casualties of war.
Yeah, you get one on Tuesday to replace that one.
All right, and to finalize this thing, this is something I started asking people, and I've been getting really good responses. Perception or reality?
To pick one?
Yeah, like, what do you think of that? Perception or reality? Which one do you pick?
So
in today's time.
I would go reality all day. Because I think that we are where we are because the perception.
So which one is it?
I think
Your reality gives perception.
no, not really.
Okay, so
If I don't put my reality out there,
there is no perception.
there is no perception. But what I put out there is going to create a perception. You decide what you want to put out there. So that's why I pick reality.
So you design yourself. And that reality that you have within is what you share with the world.
And the more real you are, the better. Because sometimes people think about this whole like social
But you
media.
can't be real nowadays.
You
People
can't.
get offended. Oh, you just know how you say it. I was like, bro,
It doesn't matter.
if you tell me that's black, I don't care how you tell me. It's black.
Let them get offended.
I know. but
Before we used
dude,
to get offended too, and nothing happened.
it's
We
crazy.
need to stop catering to everybody's feelings and start caring about our feelings.
Thank you.
If we feel that that's the right thing to do or the right thing to say it.
Feel.
You don't have to like worry about somebody else and how they feel
don't
and
worry.
and create this fake persona to cater
Impress.
to everybody or to
exactly.
create this perception that you're like woke or open or no.
Just be real, man.
If you're not, you're not. If they want to take it the wrong way, then cool. But bro, you know, half of the stuff that kids do it now is like
They don't know, man.
when we
just don't
we
know.
were little is like, bro, it was.
But it's
10
not
times
even
worse.
the kids, man. It's actual adults from back in the days trying to implement the new system.
But it's one of those things that remember when you used to tell yourself like, oh, I'm gonna give my kids what I didn't have.
Yeah.
You're taking that to the feelings now.
Yeah.
They don't want the kids to suffer the bullying. They don't want the kids to like do no hard work. They don't want to. But then
I
you're
gave my
creating little
kids
monsters.
The green light, man. You gotta knock somebody out, knock them out.
No, you're creating monsters. You're creating this generation that now, like, you can't say nothing to them because they're like have a fit or anybody.
Yeah, no. Things are all.
Think about it. 20 years from now, we're not gonna be able
I'm
to
afraid,
do this.
bro. 20 years from now, I'm actually afraid, bro. Why? Because I think everything's gonna be too easy, and if it's too easy, that means everything is too cookie cutter, too set. So if you step out of line, it's like that movie Hunger Games. You ever seen that movie? If you step out of line, you're like, "Meh," you're banned, and if you're banned, you're gone.
I think that's where
That's where I think it's going, man.
it's going.
I
Because
hope I'm wrong. Hopefully, there's a revolution, and things get a little bit better.
I
Bro.
want to be in that part of the rebels over there.
Yeah, man. I'll be in the front lines screaming K.O.S. all day.
Yeah, bro.
You know
'cause
what I mean?
it is what it is. But
It
it
is what
start
it
with
is.
us. It start with us. We have
Us barbers have the ability, like I was telling you, to speak to our clients. Clients speak to the families. Families speak to the friends. Friends speak to friends, and then we spread the knowledge. And the knowledge is love and reality, truth, and honesty, man.
we're in this industry that we're like the last like
We're like the last psychologists.
yeah, we're like the last what you call that industry that like actually deals with people. Everything is going digital and digital. Everything is moving to digital. We still have
Can't
that.
have a digital barber.
We have
It's
that
impossible.
touch with the clients. They want to talk. They want to.
Connection.
So
correct?
use that platform to spread awareness and help them. Tell them it's okay, you know. And with your kids too, have them. Don't give them allowance just because they clean the room. No, they're supposed to clean the rooms.
Exactly.
You give them allowance when they work and they do something that they weren't supposed to do. Like I told my daughter, it's like you want money, you want work, go ahead and grab your mom's phone and do some reels and
What is that? Tough love, right?
run her social media or something. But I'm not gonna give you $20 because you clean your bed. Like no,
Yeah, don't do that. I mean, some kids are cool. Some kids will understand. Some don't. But for the most part, you got to be stern. Bebe, let people know what's up, where they can find you, what to look for, and what's to come up in the future other than the academy.
They could just find me in @Bebe_ on Instagram, and everywhere is the same. So just be on the lookout for everything that I gonna drop soon. The class, the products, the shirts, this, that, all of the stuff that I'm gonna be having. And don't be afraid. Like if you have a question and you want to learn something, DM me. I'm not no stranger. Like,
Yeah,
oh no, he's
Bebe's a
not gonna
cool-ass
answer to
guy,
the
man.
end.
You guys, if you
Just
would know
ask.
him out of here, he's a smooth operator, man. Mad chill, real, real person, reason why I have him here. And I appreciate you coming, brother.
Thank you for having me, bro.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. Remember, live, love, laugh. Bless. Peace.